Hi, my name is Wooju and I'm a senior.
My name is Lane Curver, and I'm a senior.
My name is Matthew Sanford, and I'm a senior.
My name is Matt Gaied, and I'm a senior.
My name is Ashton Mccoy, and I'm a senior.
And today we're going to be doing a podcast on cars. So, Ashton, we'll start with you. What got you into cars?
One of the main things that got me into cars, at least when I was little, was Fast and Furious, of course. Like me and my mom would go and see all the movies. But then I was into cars, but I really didn't even know what I was looking at until I started hanging out with some other friends, and I wanted to understand what they were talking about because they would just make me feel dumb and stuff because I didn't know. So I was like, I should learn this. And then that's it.
And what about you, Matt?
So pretty much how I started was my grandpa. He collects car magazines all the time. He's a big car guy. He has a couple Mercedes right now. He's a big Mercedes guy. But we would always watch Cars, Cars 2, stuff like that. And then he would take me out to car meets and then take me to the car dealerships. Shit was awesome.
Alright.
I first got into cars when my grandpa would take me on rides in his '96 Mustang Cobra to car shows.
For me, my dad's always worked at Napa, so he's always been in the car part industry. And then I was into monster trucks when I was little, and I really liked that. And then just more recently, like Ashton said, now I've decided to try and learn more about cars and get more interested in them.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Ashton. I first got into cars by watching movies like Fast and Furious, and especially Disney's movies, like the Cars movies. That really got me into cars a lot. And then again, same boat. Like as time went on and I surrounded myself with other gearheads, I wanted to know what they're talking about and understand what's going on.
And then, so what do you guys think about the new cars that are being released, like the new NSX and the Integra, and this is how the Supra came back, and what do you guys think about how they look and what the car brands are doing about them compared to the old versions?
I got a lot to say about this topic though.
Okay.
But I think they're kind of messing it up
Really?
hardcore. Yeah.
Why?
Because the NSX was nice. It had a long body, and it was almost boxy, but not really. And then it was also almost like a hatchback. And now with this new NSX, it's like a big triangle. It looks like a space machine. Doesn't even look like an NSX. And then it has electric motors and all this. It's just, it doesn't I don't really mess with it. I don't like it all that much. But then the Supra, I think the Supra looks really good. Even though so they kept the curvy body styles of it, and then they just made it a little more modern, a little more sporty. But I just don't like how BMW is the main producer of that car, or the only producer of that car, and pretty much for all the parts.
Anyone have a counter argument to that?
I agree with what he said about the NSX. I really liked how the '90s NSX was simple. Now this new one is just it's too much, and it just looks bad.
What about the Integra?
I really like the Integra, but I don't know. I just hope that they smooth it out a bit more.
Yeah.
Because the way it looks now, it's just too modern. I just hate
Yeah, it
the
looks
look
very
of
electric.
concept cars.
Looks very electric. Matt, you have any opinions on that?
The NSX and the Integra, I think they could be doing a lot better. They're messing it up in a lot of ways. But for JDM, mainly, I think they're doing pretty good the way they're bringing back cars.
Yeah, I really like the 400Z that's going to be coming
Oh,
out.
yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Have you seen the blue one going around the tracks?
Mhm.
Oh, there's a blue one in the U.S. that's been going around the tracks, just showing off, and it's gorgeous. Like some nice deep blue.
Am I missing
What do you guys
something else? A different new car?
What do you guys think about the new Corolla GR
No.
that's gonna be releasing?
No,
I
I
have
haven't
not
even
seen that.
You
Yeah,
guys have?
so I haven't
Absolutely.
seen that. So
Oh.
Like,
I'm
I
definitely
do
gonna have to take a
like-
look at it though,
I
because I
do
really like the
the
Corolla
yeah,
hatch.
the new Corolla
really like
hatches.
the
They are
Corolla
like so
hatches.
nice.
Turbocharged, 3-cylinder, maybe all-wheel drive. Man.
if they have it
That's
all-wheel drive with a
badass.
6-speed manual,
If
yeah,
it's
that's-
like
yeah,
the
that's
GR
really
Yaris,
fast,
that's
bro.
like over like like Europe and stuff. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's-
awesome.
But if they go with front-wheel drive, then
I don't
that's a
really
big no
mind
for me.
if
I
it's front wheel
can't
drive or
stand
not.
front-wheel drive isn't that bad. But for some
I
reason,
can't
I
stand it.
just hate it.
I feel like the all-wheel drive manual market just needs to be brought back.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
Well, it's just-
Especially
I mean,
the way
it's
it's
not
so
really
bad.
gone.
Because American Muscle and especially with the Italian cars, how they're all rear-wheel drive, they just like drove the whole industry towards all-wheel drive or just rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But then like for economy, it's just like okay, front. It's just like all right, whatever.
What do you guys think about car culture making an impact, or like culture coming back and like the impacts it's having?
I think
on the
it's
car community?
good that more people are getting in the cars. Like a big thing like people are getting in the cars with is like TikTok. But I feel like sometimes the car community can be like really, really toxic and try to gatekeep things.
Yeah.
But like sometimes people, I don't know. But like, I feel like it should be more welcoming and people should just be a lot more nicer because like you look in the comments of like anyone that posts their car and like they're proud of it, they're just getting trashed for no reason.
Yeah.
What about like the business aspect of it, like how now cars are really overpriced, but also like you said, the manual car market is like getting bigger. That's why they put manuals in like the newer cars.
Well, I
So-
Bring
think
back manuals always.
I think that they're bringing back manuals because of the fact that the market's shifting towards electric cars, and so they just want to have a little piece of like history to be remembered by. Like with the 400Z, they're just like, okay, we're gonna move on to electric, but here you go, we got the 300 or the 400Z for you, just to make all the car community happy and to have a collector's car for the future. That's kind of my thoughts of that.
Yeah. In some ways, though, it's like Ashton said, it's really annoying when people try to gatekeep the car community, because especially it's really helping anybody who's already into cars, already has a collection going, because it's just driving up the value of what you have.
Yeah.
Like S2000s right now are going for 35K.
Yeah, the
dude.
prices
That's
on like some
insane.
cars are just so like
Oh my
out of
God.
this world.
But in some ways, I can see how it's bad though,
Yeah.
because some people get into the car community and they don't know or they don't try to know.
They just get
Yeah.
intimidated.
Yeah. Well, they
It's
get
pretty
intimidated
easy
or
to
they
And
become
then
annoying.
even
or
if they're trying to, you've got people just saying
some people just
the
approach
worst.
it wrong.
Right.
Or you got people who just like got money and then they're just decided to get into cars.
Right,
And
they
they
just
just
grab a
buy
C60
things that
stuff.
they don't know, but they they just do a very vague research and
Yeah.
buy popular things.
Like, I got a Cobb tuner on my ST.
Right.
Ooh. Blows the motor, wonders why.
And what's your guys' opinions on like the different like I guess I'll say theaters like European, Japanese versus like American muscle? Like where do they go right and where do they go wrong?
I think the Japanese market is
I think it's pretty
overall
solid.
pretty
I think
perfect.
it's pretty
Yeah.
solid. I wouldn't
Yeah.
call it perfect, but I think it's pretty solid.
I mean, for the 90s,
I think-
it was pretty
I
perfect.
think like Toyota and Honda are good. I think like Suzuki didn't make it,
Yeah.
Isuzu didn't make it, like
Yeah.
Mitsubishi.
They're
There's some
trying.
problems. in
They're
Mitsubishi.
still here. They've
They're
just
still
completely
they're
given up
absolutely
on
still
making
here.
interesting
Like
cars.
Right.
Mitsubishi,
Here.
Mitsubishi completely checked out.
So,
Yeah.
but like I mean, Toyota and Honda have been solid. So I'm not gonna.
Honda's
Honda's kinda declining
Yeah,
right now.
Honda's
Yeah.
declining right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, big
Yeah,
time.
they're on the down.
Yeah.
Toyota's always going to stay where it is.
And
Though.
then Ford is also doing this plastic oil pan thing. So we'll see how that goes.
What do you think about that, Matt?
It's not my truck.
It's not my truck.
Honestly, I feel like the U.S. car market's been kind of ruined by these companies making bigger and bigger cars, and the fact that the U.S. like United people want bigger cars. I personally don't understand that, but
I think
That's
the
just
American
how it
market is hard because really the modern style versus what American muscle and American
Really
automobiles really is
Yeah.
are completely different.
Totally
So trying to mix
different,
them, you either do it perfectly or it's absolutely terrible. But then the European market is just all high end, and
It's either high end and high class,
Oh,
or
Completely awful.
or they tried to make a daily car and it just didn't work out.
Well, every single thing is a daily
Yeah,
car.
right,
Like,
because-
what the hell?
the high end cars just they're not made for that.
That does make room for the bigger cars in America then.
Yeah,
For like a luxury standpoint. If you wanted to have instead of have like that average cloth seat with like a plastic dashboard and just like regular dials for your everyday driver, like that's fine. But like if you wanted something luxury, just go grab a Suburban.
yeah.
Back to what you said about like U.S. cars and European cars and like Japanese cars. I think that really they're all like good in their own ways. Like I love like American cars, but they're big V8s and they're loud and angry and whatnot. And I really like Japanese cars for the way they look, and also with like American cars, the LS motor is swapped into everything. Everything.
Then you also have that on the GDM spectrum with 2JZ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also swapped into
RV24.
Yeah.
I love high RPM motors though. That's what makes what's it called? JDM styling motors just so good.
Yeah,
The four
that's true.
bangers and just everything like that. Because you can send them all the way out to almost 9K. But then once you put it in like an LS or like a Coyote or something like that, those V8s can't go very high in RPM.
Not
It's
unless
too big.
You gotta build them a lot.
Yeah, they gotta be small blocks.
Yeah, and extremely built.
Absolutely indestructible.
What would be? Let's pick like a favorite car brand from each place, each JDM, Euro, and
Definitely, GM is. I like GM, but they're not doing well at all. In fact, they're doing absolutely terrible in the modern day. So I'd have to go with Ford for American, Toyota for JDM, and
this is the hard one.
yeah, because not many good options for European.
I don't agree with that at all.
European can be good if you have a lot of money.
Well,
Like Matt's grandpa always says, if you want to buy a Mercedes, you gotta be able to buy it 3 times over.
Yeah, you can't. You gotta have tons of money because it's all maintenance.
They're very nice cars and they're very cool. They can be very fast.
it's just all maintenance.
Yeah, all maintenance.
What about you, Matt?
You gotta pick one.
Oh,
Oh, if I gotta pick one, I guess
Fiat.
Fiat.
definitely not the. I don't know. I guess Mercedes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay. For the European market, I hate it, except for probably gonna have to be like.
Can't
Ferrari.
say Ducati.
Dude,
It's not cars.
I know. It's just their cars are nice and all. It's just they put too much crap in it that breaks all the time.
Like Ferrari as a company makes me like angry.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Ferrari the company makes me angry, but their cars, they're amazing. Higher 12K RPM in a V12. What?
It's the V12 is built for that.
Yeah, I know, but
And
it's
then
V12
what's
is
your
huge.
other two? American and Japanese.
I don't know. I'll probably go with Toyota for Japanese, and then for American muscle, I'll call it a Hennessy because like they take everything.
I don't know,
and
Just
they
talk
still,
about supercars.
Yeah.
but they still put it
You
together.
can't
though.
pick
I
Hennessy.
don't know if
Pick,
you can really
like,
pick Hennessy.
It's American. It's American.
I know it's American, but they're really
the
just
Ford. They make the
tuner.
Venom.
They've only made one
They
car.
are.
Yeah, they made one car
big-
and then
One of like the big three or the big four.
yeah.
I don't like the big. Okay. Ford. Yeah, Ford Giant.
What about you, Ashton?
For European, I would pick Audi because I just love the styling of their cars. Even the newer cars, like I don't really like newer cars, but most of theirs just look so nice.
They are going all electric now.
Yeah.
They are
They
fully
have
committed to all that.
nothing for engines, dude.
Fully committed.
Well, like my favorite, year of like Audi was like I'd say mid '90s and early 2000s. That's when their styling for me was just at its peak.
Group B.
Yeah, those
Yes.
cars were insane. Like that was just a crazy thing.
Oh my god.
And for American, I would of course pick Ford because I just love Mustangs. And for Japanese, I would pick Nissan because like the awesome what's the word? Enthusiast cars that they made in the 90s.
Yeah.
Your S13s, S14s, S15s.
Skyline.
True.
Skylines, yeah.
That's a good take. I gotta say Toyota for JDM because I think we're on agreement on why Toyota is really good. They're super reliable and they make good, nice cars. For European, I don't know that gets harder. I guess if we're talking about like supercars, like I like a McLaren.
Oh,
But
I completely forgot about that.
other than that, I don't know. I don't know enough about like Bentleys or Aston Martins to speak on those.
Yeah, I don't know Aston Martin.
So I know Jaguars are crap and Land Rovers are crap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like I would have to go with Mercedes or Audi, like you said. Those are solid. And then for American, I'm definitely gonna go Chevy, basically because of Corvette, because I think Corvette does it right for American.
Definitely better.
Also, like I think they do things the best way. Like
Except
if
for
you're
the
gonna
C8.
pick any muscle car, like that's what I would go for. They're
I
almost
would
not.
like-
They're
I would
almost
call
not.
them muscle cars.
It is a muscle car. It is a muscle car.
I
It's
would
American
call
muscle.
it
So
Yes.
just because they do it right and it's more sleek doesn't mean like American
I feel
muscle
like
doesn't mean
an
it has to be a
American
boat.
muscle car is done right. It is a boat. Like
It
No,
doesn't
no,
have to be a
the
boat.
spirit of
muscle
an
cars
old
are
car
not
is
You're
boat.
twisted. It
I
doesn't
mean,
have
That's
to
the
be a
spirit
boat.
of an
They're
old muscle car.
absolute
I feel like
speed
when I think of an
demons.
American muscle car, I think of a car that's a giant V8. It's big.
So
You're thinking of a
One more
Hellcat.
power
Yeah, you
than
think
a
of
Hellcat.
I'm thinking about like a
Thinking of-
Plymouth.
Any American
No, there's a
muscle
lot of
car.
American muscle cars like that.
Like when
Yeah,
I think
like
of
back in the
Corvettes,
70s,
I think
like,
of them
yeah.
as more of like
cars.
But now
like,
it's
yeah, like,
completely
like
different.
Road Runners and
Now.
Kudas. Like
Now it's
because
completely
like they're
different, though.
they're all
okay,
But
let's
now
let Would
track
you share his
one, it's
opinion?
more
We
about
gotta
the
wrap
funny
this up.
cars.
Would you?
Sorry.
Alright.
Yeah.
So for the American market, I'd have to choose like maybe Mopar or like Pontiac Chevy.
Okay, I would like Pontiac too. That's another reason I really like Chevy.
I don't really know anything a lot about JDM market. All I know is like Mazda, Honda, and Nissan, and like Toyota and all that. I would say Toyota because of their long-term reliability and they've built a brand image of reliability. For the European market, that's going to be a bit tricky for me because I love European cars. If it's going to be like supercars or like sports cars, I would have to say Porsche. But if it's like economy, I'm have to
What do you
choose,
mean
like,
you're not like Porsche? There's so
I'm
much
gonna have
not
to
to
choose
like
like
about Porsche.
Volkswagen Audi Group, maybe like Skoda or Volkswagen.
I figured you were gonna say Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
7, 8.
all right, I think we're all good. We're about out of time. We've been going